gentleman right there.
So, I have a question about sponsorship. Maybe each one of you could talk specifically about your own experience with sponsorship.
The nicest thing that's ever happened is I just got a Gibson kind of deal. So they gave me a deal on guitars. I like that.
Have you ever had someone pitch you or your management force to sponsor a tour?
I tried, once I got really, gung-ho and tried to get like a hotel chain to sponsor my tour, like.
That would be convenient.
Yeah, well, I figured I'm in a hotel every night. Why doesn't your hotel sponsor my tour? Give me a room every night in exchange for, you're sponsored by the Days Inn on the posters or something like that. But I think I was swamped with too many things and never followed through on it. But I mean, that's something that is maybe really simple, and they would probably go, sure, that's cool, and maybe not, maybe.
You can do really unique things with sponsorship. You can really play with your audience. You can really play with your demographic in that terms. You can really reach out if needed. In terms of like cell phone companies texting, those types of things are really, really important right now. You have your MySpace pages again. I keep bringing up the internet. The internet is a really good tool, and if you can combine yourself with someone who's willing to put some money into possibly helping you create your website, or again, hotel deals, cell phone deals, any of that kind of stuff. In terms of putting, the big Bacardi sign on the side of your van or something like that is probably not going to happen until the level you're touring with buses, or you have your Chris Cornell bus come through with his sponsorship on the side, or whoever it is.
And
I think it's Hershey with Brad Paisley.
And you have to dress like Captain Morgan while you play.
While you play. So it depends on what you're trying to get out of that sponsorship. There is a lot of interest in live music right now. It's a really strong industry, and I think there's a lot of sponsorship deals, especially for independent acts as well. Now Magazine, Exclaim, all those things in Toronto, a lot of the independent magazines are willing to put their word and their label behind you, and put shows together. Get companies like that to start putting, there's no reason why you can't put a show together that's a self-presents or something like that that's sponsored by one of the independent music magazines. Those types of things, they're looking for that stuff all the time.
The live performance is the platform from which the merchandising and the branding is launched for things, and but the key to it, I think, is a very creative relationship. It's something that I experience in my work at SOCAN, but not so much about concerts, but in terms of the placement of music in ads, where sort of square brands look for cool music to coolify their brands, and the artists look for the leverage from the exposure of the brand to launch a radio, an assault on commercial radio or something like that. But I don't see it so much in concerts.
By and large, I stay away from it. I hate those people. I'd like to bury them. And most of my artists feel the same. With environmental organizations, women's organizations, and getting involved with organizations whose goals you support. And certainly I have artists that have done things with environmental organizations, women's organizations, and etc. I know a particular case in Ottawa where a friend of mine used to come through when I lived here, who used to play at Rasputin's, lovely place. And small crowd, it was fine. And one day he contacted the Sierra Club. And the Sierra Club was interested in doing a concert with him, and dinner, and one thing or another. They rented the Museum of Nature and Natural History, that old building. Filled the thing. There were about 300 or 400 people, which is a lot more than you can get into Rasputin's. He sold a whack of CDs. They had a wonderful evening. People loved the music. It was a win-win situation, and he didn't have any problem with the Sierra Club and his name appearing together.
I've had a few artists that have worked for the cigarette companies and things like that, which I've found a very interesting move in terms as a presenter and as well as a tour manager. So it's a choice that you have to make, and once you stand behind something like that, if you're getting the money to pay for your bus, then financially it kind of makes a little bit more sense. But those are very careful choices, and sponsorships are very fine line when you watch it. It can work for you and it can work against you.